Wow. You would not expect that he's the bass looking at him, but you can't judge a voice type just based on the way someone looks. What up, guys? It's your boy Matt from RamseyVoice.com. And if you're here, it means only one thing, that you're ready for more amazing reactions. And that's exactly what you're going to dig. That's exactly what you're going to get. Can't speak today. But I am so seriously, so excited to react to today's performer. This is actually going to be the first time that I've reacted to an a cappella group. Now, you may not know this, but I've actually taught some a cappella singers in my studio here. And I think that they are just some of the most fun and interesting singers to work with because they know so much about the way that the voice works and how musically involved a cappella and especially group singing music is. So today I'm going to be reacting to Home Free perform Man of Constant Sorrow, which I love that movie. It was one of my favorite movies as a kid, and a huge part of the reason is the music. T-Bone Burnett produced a bunch of the music, and he's just a legend in this whole scene. So I'm super excited to see what these guys do with it. That brings us beautifully into our pre-show shout out. Our high note today is coming from Sea Snails Platoon. Very interesting username, who commented on my How to Sing Low Notes video. The speaking thing really helps a lot. Went from a C3 to an A2. I'm a higher tenor like you. Nice. Tenors unite. And G2 with only a little bit of fry or croak. I think with practice, I can get a half step or maybe even a whole step further in some months. Sea Snails, I know that you can if you keep working at it. If you want to be mentioned in a pre-show shout out, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, do all that stuff. And make sure that you watch until the end of the video today because I'm going to be unveiling a brand new segment of one of my favorite sections on this show, which is the 2-minute tutorial, where I take 2 minutes and I break down one of the techniques that the singer is using. That way you can learn to use it in your own voice. And if you find it helpful, check out my complete singing course, Master Your Voice. It's the only singing program featuring personal feedback from a real vocal coach, plus a proven system of exercises. Without any further ado, here's Home Free performing Man of Constant Sorrow. So we're in the key of F. Oh yeah. There's a guy down here.
I am a man of constant sorrow.
That's a cool true.
I bid farewell.
What's that other guy with the suspenders doing?
Kentucky, the place where I was born and raised.
It sounded like the same guy singing.
Place where he
Okay.
born and raised. 4 or 6 long
F3 on the bottom there.
years I've been in trouble.
But it's a good sounding F3.
Where on earth I found for in this world.
Oh, it is the same guy. So he's a tenor.
Have no friends to help me now.
I think a lot of people would see this and they're like, oh, he's the bass.
To help me now.
All right, we got some beatboxing. Cool.
It's fare thee well, my old true lover. I never expect to see you again.
So high note for the tenor here is a C4. I have no idea what that other guy's doing. His hands are covering it up.
Railroad, perhaps I'll die upon this train.
Man, those two singers' voices are so similar.
Upon this train.
Wow. Wow. That guy's great at the mouth harmonica. Okay, he's the bass.
In some deep valley.
Wow.
Many years where I may live.
Wow. You would not expect that he's the bass looking at him, but you can't judge a voice type just based on the way someone looks.
Of another while I am asleep.
Well, I am. He kind of BS those notes at the very bottom, but there's no doubt he can sing a lot of those really low notes.
Maybe your friends stay.
All right. A flat.
You never see no more.
See what happens.
But there is one promise.
There is one. Using a lot of that ventricular vocal cords.
God's golden shore.
He'll meet you on
Oof.
golden shore.
Here we go.
This is amazing. Don't do. Now, one thing that I think is really cool about that is like one of the guys is just has this little ostinato or repeated melodic phrase in that. Do. He's just kind of keeping that going while the other guys sing around him. And when you've got this many guys, that's a great way to kind of like lay out a bass line. Guys, this brings me beautifully into what I'm super excited to talk about today, which is bass voice types. Okay, now, I did a little bit of research on this group before I actually did this reaction. I have not seen this video before. I try to always come at these cold so that you're able to hear exactly what I'm thinking about. But one thing that I found interesting when we're reading their Wikipedia page is it seemed like they had a hard time finding a bass singer. And I wanted to just validate that it is very difficult to find a true bass singer. That's a very, very rare voice type. I mean, we were talking about very, very genetically thick vocal cords. We're talking about a big distance between the larynx or the glottis, where the vocal cords come together, and the lips. So you'll see true basses, they'll have like this big throat, they'll have like this big space in between their larynx and their lips. And we're also just talking about like a much deeper vocal timbre. And it is just very, very rare to find all of that in one person. It's very, very difficult to get to those lower notes. And kind of like we were talking about, even when Sea Snails was talking to me about hitting those lower notes, I always feel like a fraud when I try to teach lower notes because I'm such a high tenor. And unfortunately, you really can't train your voice to slacken up the chords to become a completely different voice type. Let me clarify that. What I mean is not that you can't sing lower. You definitely can learn to sing lower. However, can you switch from being a tenor to a bass? Not really. There are some singers that have just such a tremendous amount of range that they can kind of switch hit between different voice types like that. But if we're talking about a true bass voice type, those guys are exceptionally rare. So if you are a bass, I'm talking to you right now because I care about you. As a bass, it's very, very tempting to just stay in your bass box, which is that you're just always forced into the lower notes and all the singing groups and all the stuff that you're in. You're always going to be pushed towards the bottom end. But I want to encourage all the basses out there to still try to make it through their vocal break, starting around that D4, E flat 4, E4, around that area. I still want you guys to make that E4 sound as good as humanly possible. Why? Because so much music these days still has those notes. And if you're just transposing everything down, or if you just stay in the lower part of your voice where you're most comfortable, you're not really improving your voice. You're not really helping it and getting to its best potential. It's always best to exercise the fullest extent of your vocal range. So basses, if you're out there, I love you. I care about you. I want you to keep working on those higher notes, even if that's not what people are paying you to do, but it is very important that you do so. Now, guys, if you found this helpful, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell. And if you've been struggling to learn how to sing, you've been watching YouTube videos, or maybe even bought another singing course and just been confused, I want to encourage you to check out my complete singing course, Master Your Voice. It's the only singing course out there featuring personal feedback from a real vocal coach, plus a proven system of exercises to improve your voice. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you later.